بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين.
I was raised mostly on a farm, and although there was religion in our life, my earliest times I can remember would be as a Baptist. When we would go to Bible classes on a Sunday every now and again, but sort of in my late young life through for the rest until my later life, there was really nothing. I entered Catholicism and found that nice and structured, and which is something I'm pretty used to, and something I enjoyed. So that's probably how I entered my early days. I'm a serving army officer, which is pretty unusual, I guess, but there are others around the world, I'm sure. I served a lot of time in Southeast Asia. I had seen Islam in Southeast Asia, and my observations of Islam was really only the masjid, and so I came to recognise that as a sign of Islam, and hearing the adhan, and that was probably all I knew about Islam. And I served over in that region for about 6 years or so, around about that. Later on, through my tours over there, I became more interested and wanted to know more. Not only that, I met the woman who I wanted to marry, and her family was very religious, her father in particular, a really nice guy. He's passed away now. So I spent a lot of time with him talking, and he took me into the world and really showed me a new world. And it was probably a world that crossed a gap that probably in my life was missing. And that's how I entered into Islam. And seeing and hearing some of the things that my wife's father talked about, it was just something that I needed. I had to do. I had to be part of it. And probably to me, the cement on the whole process would be not until sometime actually after I converted to Islam or reverted. It was actually here in Palmerston North. In my early days as a Muslim, most of it was spent on a posting cycle of every 2 years. I would go to another location, and Islam was in none of those locations. There were no Muslims in any of those locations. I came to Palmerston North here, and one of our first ports of call was immediately to the masjid, and I met people here. And it was also very close to Ramadan, and the friendships and the closeness of the community just absolutely confirmed these are the fundamental things about Islam that make it such a beautiful religion. It is at times quite difficult, but I'll probably give you the highest end of the scale. Last year I served in Afghanistan, and I am one, if not the only Kiwi service person to be a Muslim. We went over there, and Ramadan approached. My military colleagues in particular know what I am, know who I am, and certainly as we prepared to go to Afghanistan, knew exactly what I was, because I helped them to prepare, through their beliefs and things like that. Ramadan came along, and I actually thought, boy, am I going to really struggle here, because I'm carrying many, many kilos of equipment, of weaponry, of ammunition, stuff like this, and thought I'd never be able to survive through Ramadan without having a few breaks during the fasting. But actually, as compared to New Zealand, not this year but previous years, the days are reasonably short. But however, at the same time that I was fasting, I would be in villages and with people who were doing exactly the same, and they knew I was doing the same. So and people knew who I was. They knew I was a Muslim, and it was actually a big draw card for a lot of people to come and see this Kiwi Muslim, and particularly during Ramadan, to know that he was also fasting. So here we were out the back of their village. We'd been taken to, I can remember one incident in particular, a village where children had been tampering with big anti-tank rounds of ammunition, and they had been trying to poke the explosives out, and they were actually burning the stuff. None of it had exploded, but they were in a lot of trouble. So we were asked to go to the village, and they knew who I was. we were asked to go a significant distance out into the middle of nowhere to find this ammunition. We found it out there, and we helped carry it and position it so that it could be exploded. And then, of course, from way out the back of nowhere, we had to walk all the way back. We get back and they do not offer me chai, the local brew, but all the rest of my patrol are offered chai. And there is just an understanding of Islam and the brotherhood, and that is such a big part of Islam to me. From, I guess, when people first become aware that I was a Muslim, and it's not through them one day finding, well, he's a Muslim now, boy, things have got to change. I explained the situation. I also explained my position within the community within Palmerston North here, and also my greater role within the Federation of the Islamic Associations of New Zealand. Actually, my employers and the New Zealand Defence Force as a whole are very, very supportive. They allow me time off, when special meetings are occurring or when they know that I need to do